Namaste, my beautiful queens. Namaste. Today we are going to repeat the spread, which I've done a year ago, and the name I gave it was "I Bet I Can Shock You How Accurate I Am." That video got close to 600,000 viewers, so it means that over 500,000 viewers, something unheard of on a video with the cards, but this is how it was. It's not something I expected. So I cannot even tell you how many times I was asked to repeat that spread. I repeated once. So total time I done it once. We are gonna do it a third time today with my star deck, which I told you I was waiting for this deck to arrive 8 months. The deck is absolutely unique, beautiful, but also this deck has a very unique energy to it. It softens the negativity of the situation and increases the positivity. So it is incredibly energy charged deck. The creator of it really put so much in it. So I want to repeat the spread, the relationship spread. This is not pick up the card, the relationship spread I've done, which called "I Bet I Can Shock You" with the star deck. It's consisting of 10 cards answering all the questions, all your questions. So what I want you to do, just outcome of this whole situation, I want you to determine the time period you are going to see the possible outcome of this situation. You determine the time period, and I'm going to put the cards down, and let me start doing this because 10 cards, as you know, I try to really give a lot of information about the cards, and so I hope I'm gonna squeeze it in 30 minutes. So let us go. I am asking the spirits of fire, spirits of air, spirits of earth and water, the guides and the keepers, to give us the answers to our questions with gratitude. I touch it to my forehead so I clearly see with my mind, to my mouth so I clearly can interpret it, and to my heart so I can see it with the gift of my soul. 10 questions in this spread. Let us go. Repeating the spread, I bet I can shock you. The relationship first card. Hope I have enough space here. The relationship right now, the core of this relationship, card number 1. What he gets from this relationship, card number 2. What you get from this relationship, card number 3. What upsets you, card number 4. What upsets him, card number 5. Pay attention to this if you want everything to be good, card number 6. Number 7, this is illusion. This is no longer there. Pay attention. This is no longer there, number 7. Number 8, refuse from it. It works no more. Number 9, what will exactly happen how you want it. And number 10, we are going to put it as outcome right here in the period of time which you determine yourself. And just as they are, let us go straight to the cards and see what is there. And queens, I'm going to put all the questions in the description box. I'm gonna call each question out there just in case if you want to look at them. So the relationship right now, the core of it, those of you who know the spread called the Celtic Cross. The Celtic Cross starts with first question, the core, the root, the base of the relationship right now at our moment, the card number 1. All right, so we're having 9 of Pentacles, and I want to ask you to please really pay attention to the card. how it looks, because as I said, this card has a very positive vibe. So the core of your relationship right now, you see right here, the Queen, something similar to the card which is called Strength. So we see the power here in the female. There is the castle here, so definitely, and we see this Black Panther right here. So the thing is that the core of relationship right now is not, we cannot say it is negative or it is bad, but at the same time, you and him, both of you want, you don't want something painful, something, you know, in a dynamic of a tower. You don't feel like turn your world or your principles or your beliefs upside down for him, because you see right here, as we're having Nine of Pentacles, we have the female here, especially if you are Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn, because this is Pentacles. So you're telling yourself, you know, I don't want, maybe he, maybe this is the of course the dynamic when in order to be with him, maybe he requires too much from you. Maybe you are the one who needs to roll the boat and not him, and maybe he wants you to move to another country or to another state, or to leave everything what you've had and go to him. Or it can be, my beautiful queens and kings, the other way around, because he might not want to turn his life upside down, or not even just turn his life upside down, but to do significant steps towards you. So we cannot say this is a negative card, but we cannot say it's extremely positive, because both of you are right now trying to be careful, and both of you, you see, and it's correct, not, you know, ready to, you know, I'm gonna sacrifice everything dear to me for you, or he wants you to sacrifice everything dear for you and run after him to the end of the world, or he does not want to do the same thing for you. So we can say here that you are not together, probably, because in Nine of Pentacles is not a card of togetherness, so probably you are not living together, and also this relationship requires either both of you do significant step towards each other, changing the circumstances right now, or one of you. And if we're talking about a man, we see in relationships, so we here take into consideration your and him, because the further there we will look at him and you. But right here, the Nine of Pentacles says that you want the calm, soft love. You don't want suffering, you know, emotional up and down, the hidden agenda, something is not clear. You want everything to be clear, and him to show you his intentions in his actions clearly. Especially, as I already said, we see here, my goodness, talking too much, we see here the female. So you are being what I'm keep on telling here, be a queen and stand your ground. So you pretty much right here, we see the figure of a female. You're standing your ground. So you want to be with me, do something, probably leave that castle right here where he is, and walk right to me, and walk with me in this beautiful grass. Next one, what he gets from it. This is a little bit similar to this spread called the World of Two, when there is your part here and his part here. These spreads are very informative, because you can determine if you have something like this going on in you, then you can take into consideration what's there in him. So second part, what he gets from your relationship. Okay, so definitely the guy has the I'm sorry, there is my dog barking there. Okay, hope he's not gonna bark anymore. What he gets, of course, look at the card. We are seeing a man here, and we see a man and the spirits of the ancestors here. We see the stars here and the wands, and one of the wand he holds with a fire right here. So first of all, definitely, as you know how much I love third-party relationships, so-called love, because I 1% of cases I saw good outcome. In 99% of cases I saw broken hearts of beautiful, beautiful girls, women of all ages, upbringing, and countries. This is why I really get very upset when I see situation like this. But some of you are dealing with a man who is not free. Some of you, of course, again, not all of you, some of you, because this is a family man who is not happy, but he stays there because he convinced that he must stand for tradition, kind of tradition, for beliefs, tradition, religion, whatever. This card connected with Sagittarius, to be exact, Saturn in Sagittarius, and connected with number 11 to number 1121. So some of you do deal with a married man. Some of you deal with just a man who stands up first of all for traditions or beliefs or something in his family, because we see a shadow of an ancestors, and unfortunately where he needs to be standing more, for love. He doesn't see love as the most important. So right here, some of you have a married man who is not happy in marriage but considers he has to stay there, or you are dealing with not a married man but who has tons of reasons why he should be staying right now at the moment of us speaking exactly where he is speaking, because this is a man who is overwhelmed with responsibility, and it is a little bit similar. And if we put, you see the core of this relationship, look at this deck, isn't it unbelievable deck, beautiful. If we take into consideration Nine of Pentacles here, and this, we can see, you stand your ground, and he stands your ground, but now we are dealing with some stubbornness. So what he gets from, because this is a position of what he exactly gets in this relationship, he gets this fresh breeze, a fresh wind from you. This, like he's so overwhelmed with responsibilities, with everything he has to be dealing with, that sometimes he wants to just, no, close the door, drop all those ones and walk away, to you and be free. But he doesn't do it because there is lots of things are expected from him. There is lots of things he feels responsible for. So he receives this fresh wind, fresh breeze from you. But unfortunately, also he's, even though sometimes, he looks like he has a lot of self-esteem, deep down there are a lot of fears and a lot of doubts. And also this man so scared to look bad to somebody. He's very dependent on their, what people would say about him and how people would see it. So he really sees in you this, you're stuck in a closed door, indoors, and then you come out and there is the ocean and ocean breeze and spring sun. You are something like this to him. So unfortunately, here he's not refusing from you because of fear of staying without this fresh air, but at the same time he's now walking towards you from this castle right here because he is overwhelmed with all the responsibilities and things like that. You know me that I could talk more, my beautiful queens, but then I'm gonna just overwhelm you with everything and I have to keep on going for the next card. What you get from this relationship, and always when you open all the cards you have to look at the spread, at the whole picture, like if it was a painting. What you get from this relationship, you get King of Swords. Look at that King of Swords. So, of course, of those of you who are dealing with the King of Swords, interesting in this dynamic in the card of, you see all my favorite color, in the card of this deck, this King of Swords, of course, is connected with air, Gemini, Libra, or Aquarius. But this king in this deck, you see, he's holding also the golden coin, which is connected to Pentacles, and also you see like the water kind of here. So it's much more complicated and interesting king than classical King of Swords. As I said, this is classical deck, but not classical at all. So we have to take into consideration everything. So of course, if you are getting yourself the Gemini, Libra, or Aquarius man, or you get Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn, because we see his shield more of a like a pentacle, and even it can be even Cancer, Scorpio, or Pisces, because we see water here. So what you get in this relationship, you get yourself the all three kings in one. All three kings in one you get. So sometimes he gets based, he behaves with you following his mind and logic in practicality and doing what I must. Sometimes you get yourself warm and completely different type of warm and soft and earthy, like these, like the earth in spring, king of pentacles. And sometimes you get yourself mysterious and deep, water king, like Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces. But we still have to take into consideration that this is the king of swords. So most of time, unfortunately, you don't feel like you're getting enough of his love, enough of his warmth. He's strong, he's smart, but also you don't feel you get enough love, enough of feeling what you feel. So he senses you, then when you said, and he calls you or texts you, you don't feel enough love from him. And we again have to take into consideration all the cards we saw before, why it can be this way. And if we put these cards as the base of relationship and what he gets, we of course understand here more why this happens, why he acts as the King of Swords. He has reasons, he has responsibilities, he has inner fears, he has inner doubts. So he, in order to take control all over those feelings, emotions which are tearing him apart, what you get, you don't get enough attention, enough compassion towards you, enough love, enough attention, enough giving. It looks like you are giving more than he is giving you, even though if we're talking about lovers, probably the best lovers would be the king like this. But he might act sometimes very buttoned up. You don't know what's going on there, or he can act closed up, or he doesn't say something, or he acting hot and cold, something like this. So you're not getting enough love here. And also he hides, a lot of them even are hiding passion, hiding feelings, and also don't allow themselves to feel, because they think that showing feelings, emotions is the sign of weakness, especially if you are dealing with the Gemini, Libra, Aquarius, or even water kings like Scorpio, for example. All of you know Scorpios, they don't show any weaknesses because they consider this as the feelings, emotions, it's a weakness. So you don't get enough showing of his feelings here. Girls, if I don't have enough time to tell you everything in this spread, that will be a second part. I am afraid I'm not going to be able to do that. I got to explain to you all these little details. I have to do it, otherwise it would make no sense. But if it's gonna suddenly cut, The second part will be linked in the description box. Okay, we will do that. So the card number 4, what upsets you? And we already could see that this there is certain issues which upset you already here. So what upsets you in the position? What upsets you? Very, 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 you don't have to even know the meanings. Look at the Nine of Swords. Of course, what upsets you many things which you do not know what to think. And you see this beautiful woman right here crying, and in the middle of the night, a beautiful woman crying, and all of the swords are here. So you worry so much. What upsets you? Lots of things. You worry about him. You worry about him. You worry something is probably he could be on a distance from you, and you don't know for sure what's going on with him. Also, it could be that he's, as we already said, the buttoned up type of a king. We do not know what's for sure there going on with him, because he doesn't open up. So it's so many things are tearing your heart apart, because at moment you believe him and want to believe that you have a future together and things are gonna work out, and love conquers all. At one moment you don't believe, and you suspect, and you doubt, and you cry, and it's insomnia, of course, and it's the middle of the night, and you feel so much pull to him. Of course, it could be dealing with the karmic connections, and it's a love-hate type of relationship. Of course, we have to take into consideration that you are dealing with a complicated man, not an easy man, not an easy man at all, and you suffer. And again, we could be dealing with third party. Again, we could be dealing, if not with third party, but lots of hidden agenda. We don't know what's for sure there. So you don't know. It's like you're suffering deep inside, and this love became painful for you. It's very painful, because lots of things you know, but you doubt, or you don't know and you still doubt. And of course there is lots of insomnia, lots of crying, lots of looking up at the sky, lots of questions without the answers. Also, you really are scared to lose him. You part of you wants to find the way out, part of you doesn't know how to find the way out. You are afraid to lose him. At the same time, sometimes you want to give up and walk away, but you are not sure you need to walk away, you're not sure you need to stay. So something he could have done which you have not forgiven him also could be right here. So of course this is lots of answers here. What upsets you? Lots of things upset you about your king, whether we are talking about the sword king, water king of, or pentacles king. Let's see what's up, what about him, and what upsets him in this relationship. Six of Wands. Look at how interesting this card here. Six of Wands, but we have flowers. You see, 1 2 3 4 5 6. We see flowers which are not looking like wands, and we see the heart here, and we see the sunshine in a heart, and we see this beautiful horse, and he's holding a star. So what upsets him, I believe, my beautiful queens, that he's really again, we're looking at this card, and at the same time we have to take into consideration all the cards we already looked at. And definitely we are dealing with a man who is tight, whose hands are tight, and probably he is not capable of actually doing something he wants, because this card is very positive. And what upsets him is that he only, at the moment of us speaking, he only can offer you what he what we are having. And what upsets him that you have a very giving heart, because this heart in the middle of the card, this heart is yours. Again, my beautiful queens, I will not have enough time to tell you all the cards in this spread. It will be second part to this video linked underneath, because I still have the 1 2 3 4 5 cards and outcome of the whole situation, outcome of the whole ooh, this is good. I will show you the outcome of the whole situation. We are having you as outcome, as a Queen of Pentacles. This is very promising outcome. So your victory over this whole situation. But this whole, I have to tell you this whole cards, all the cards here. So you are a giver. Especially look at the outcome, Queen of Pentacles, and right here we have 6 of Wands. So what upsets him, that he is not capable of give you what he really wish, that he wants to be your hero, because in a classical deck it's a man, it's a card of triumph in love, and what upsets him, that this triumph in love cannot yet happen. What upsets him, that happiness and joy is not yet happen. Another problem we are seeing here, that if he gets on this horse, and this star is the sign of you, you are my star shining in the sky, and he's going to hold a love to you and your love and a hope in his hand and fly to you, and because your heart is calling for him, we are having the issue here that his family is not going to be very happy. His family might not understand his action, and we already saw right here that he's too dependent on family people. He wants everything he does to be taken beautifully, that people would only say, oh, he's such a wonderful man, he does such a beautiful things, he is this and he is that. So what upsets him, that he cannot be a triumphator, a winner in this love, that he has to fight for being with you, he has to fight for your love. But in order to be a winner, you know that before the 6 of Wands comes the card 5 of Wands, where there is a battle. And when there is a battle, my beautiful queens, where there is a battle, there is always there someone has to lose. So again, we could be having a married man, or again, we could be having a man who, in order to be to have the triumph in love with you, in union with you, he understands the difficulties he has to deal with. He understands the consequences of this fight, but unfortunately, in order to be victorious in this battle, then someone has to lose. So before you build this triumph in love with you, something has to be left behind. Something has to be, as we saw in the base of relationship. I already told you, take into consideration the root and base of relationship, the 9 of Pentacles. So in order to be with you, this castle, he is right there. He needs to leave this castle probably forever and come right here to you, as where you are like a goddess of the woods. You are holding a bird. You have the wreath on your head of flowers. You are free, and you have this animal here, and you tell him, leave those walls of that castle and come out here to me and walk with me in a green fields. And he knows that he wants to do this, because this is what upsets him. We read this card under such a question, what upsets him, and he wants to, but at the same time time. In order to do that, he has to leave this castle. He has to break something. He has to break free, because it's not just a castle. There are rules in that castle. There are probably a king, and he probably a prince, or he is a king in that castle, and someone has to lose. Someone has to be left behind, because again we're having very possible a triangle here. Well, many cards showing on this, and of course it upsets him that he cannot yet do it. So he does wants to be with you, but there's too many things which are on the way, but at the same time he wants to tell you his feelings. He wants to tell you his love and his desires, but he so far holds it. My beautiful queens, this is it for this part. Just next click the next part under the description box, and I will tell you the rest of the spread. Sorry, not enough time. Namaste.